cross member fits. Had the China quad running and driving. Absolute piece of junk. Busted fender, busted lights, no seat, had no chain, bent axle, bent front bumper. Remember this thing? I did a video previously on picking this thing out of the junk pile and getting it running. It had no chain, it had a bent axle, it had a whole bunch of little things that some of it I fixed and some of it I haven't yet, but it runs now and drives, so I got the chain on it. I did record some footage putting the chain on, but it's unreleased footage because I never did make that video. I got the rear axle all straightened out. It'll run and drive now. That's definitely not the right battery, but the battery was completely dead over the winter. I just put the solar panel on it for I put it on there yesterday, and today it fired up. So clearly she's a beater China quad, and she's been rode hard and put away wet. But now I know that it runs and drives. Maybe I can get some tires for it and a seat for it or something, I don't know. That's the jack under the car there. That's one of them. There's actually two of them under there somewhere. There's a little blue bottle jack under there. So I'd like to get those jacks out and get the cross member in. Look at that chunk of ice I just busted out of there. It's kind of sickening, but it's mostly melted off everywhere else. It's mostly melted off, but under the car the sun doesn't shine under there, so there's still quite a bit of ice. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's pretty substantial chunk there. It's an absolute piece of junk. But I can't get over how good that little Daymac China motor, can't get over how good it runs. She's been sitting for a while, so she's cooled down. See that yellow mark right there? That's where I joined the chain together. I didn't use a broken link or one of those half links or whatever. I didn't use one. I just made it myself and crimped it myself. Look at that. It's got to be 4 inches thick. And that's after like 2 weeks of melting. I can see pretty much the entire ramp on the rear. And the front is coming out. I've been chopping at her for a couple days. Sun's been shining for a couple days. Getting in preparation for the jack to come out and the cross member to go in. I might have to get under here early in the morning when it's all ice, and right now it's like freezing cold ice water, so I wouldn't really want to lay in that, but I'll probably have to lay on the ground to put the cross member in. So this old battery is it was junk when I put it on there, and it's still pretty junky. More junkier than ever. And it's been sitting all day. Wonder if it'll start. First try. Absolute piece of junk. Busted fender, busted lights, no seat, had no chain, bent axle, bent front bumper, just complete bald tires. Friggin' disposable ATV. But I can't get over how good it runs. Wonder if it'll do a burnout on the ice with me sitting on it, with my weight on it. I think this thing has a sticker on the fender. It's only rated for like 150 pounds, and I think I'm shy of that. I'm about 140-ish. Maybe I should warm it up first. Oh my goodness. What a fun little machine. The rear brakes are actually hydraulic. This is just a tiny little thing. It seems like what it needs, everything that it needs on bolts. It needs tires, so I could probably change them. Front bumper is bent, but it unbolts. Body kit is broken on the back fender, but that can be replaced. You can buy the whole body kit. I think it's one piece. Taillight lens. It's got headlights and taillights and digital speedometer, hydraulic brakes. It's missing a gas cap, but that's no big deal. I just stuck one on there for now. Seat. It's probably not worth spending a fortune on the old junk, but a lot of that stuff could be fixed or replaced probably pretty cheap on like eBay parts or China parts. What is this nonsense? I wish it would just go away. What the frig, buddy? What do you think about all this snow? Do you like it? Hey, buddy? Not me. Not me. Frig that. I don't think it's gonna last very long. It's supposed to be plus 10 this week. So the mud might stick around for a while, but the snow probably won't last too long. Terrible mess though. Yesterday, this was like pretty much all the snow was melted yesterday. So this just came back last night, overnight again. You can see the bare ground there. I gotta get that jack out. I got the 700 R4 transmission up in there last fall in similar conditions. It was all snow and I was laying in the snow and mud when I put the tranny in. So yesterday or the day before, I got this crossmember, and it's a little bit smaller because the 700 R4 is a little bit longer. This car used to have the 204R, so I took the V6 out and the 204R, and I put the V8 and the 700 R4. And 700 R4 is a little bit longer and it has overdrive. So that's the cross member there for the junkyard cross member, and it fits. You just move it back one notch. You can sort of see where it used to be up ahead, about maybe an inch ahead, and so this one goes a little bit further back for the 700 R4. This is the same as, I think it's the same one as the T5. Same cross member as the 5-speed, I believe. So it's just in there. The bolts are just like finger tight. They're not even tight. I went and got some washers. I'm gonna put some good size washers on those bolts. But yeah, I got her in there and it seems to line up good and it seems to fit good. It's only finger tight right now, but it looks like it's gonna work out. And then I'll have to plumb up the lines and get some fluids into it before we can start it again. Maybe a drive shaft. And here comes the snow again. Can you see it? So the cross member fits, so that means I can put the washers on and tighten it up. I got a brand new transmission mount to go on there. Those mounts are cheap, so got a new one to go on there. Might have to change the tailstock to the FireBird Camaro style tailstock, depending on the torque arm. These cars have a factory traction bar, a torque arm that comes off the rear end, and it's from factory. It attaches to the transmission, to the back of the transmission, so I may or may not go that route. I might attach it to the cross member, so that way it doesn't put stress on the transmission mount and the tailstock of the transmission if you're doing friggin' burnouts or launches or something crazy like that. This is why I wish I had a garage to work in. That would be sweet. That would be way more awesome than frig. But everybody deserves a day off, so maybe I'll just take today off. Well, had the China quad running and driving. It still needs a lot of work. Like, it runs so good though, so it might be worth it. Put a cross member in this thing. It's not really finished yet because I got to put the new mount in, and the tail, I think the mount goes on the tailstock, so, and the new seal goes in the tailstock, so I might put the FireBird Camaro tailstock on it. I've never seen them break. I've heard about them breaking, but I've hammered on them pretty hard with the LT one, like the last one, the 87 FireBird. I painted it with Raptor liner. That was a pretty cool project, and I hammered on it pretty hard and never broke it. I had a T5 one before that. I hammered on it pretty hard, never broke it. So I might just put the factory FireBird Camaro tailstock and put the torque arm on it like factory. I do plan on hammering on this one pretty hard too, hopefully, if we get her mobile. The cross member fits. Had the China quad running and driving, which is pretty good because last time I documented it, it had a bent axle and no chain, and it was just in the scrap pile. And yeah, so that's pretty interesting. And my neighbor's car got stolen, so that's pretty interesting too. Apparently stolen by a lady. That's very interesting. Crazy world. Anyway, hopefully in a couple days this will be gone, because I'm pretty much getting sick of it.